So good morning to all of you. Today we will see on our lecture number 26 for the concrete technology. So we have up till now completed the destructive test on the concrete on the unit number 3. Now today we will see the non-destructive test on the concrete, and the objective. First we'll see the objective of testing the concrete is to find out the strength of concrete. You can see that the objective behind the NDT test. So we are doing the test on the concrete generally to know the strength, and the destructive test is already we have seen the previous classes. In that we have seen the compressive strength test, tensile strength test, and we have also seen the flexural strength, that is indirect method of tensile strength of concrete, and direct tension test is possible, but there is a problem of holding of the specimen. Now this NDT, that non-destructive test, will be carried out on the structures, and the destructive test we are carried on the specimen we are preparing for the same concrete. But non-destructive test directly you can do on the structure itself. So no need of casting the specimen. Or if there is a problem when you are done a destructive test, the strength is not as per the requirement of the quality control department, then we have to go for the core test or other NDT method, that is non-destructive test methods, to know the strength of concrete. Sometimes there are cracks in the concrete, and to deal with the cracks, to know that the cracks in the concrete, also we are doing the non-destructive testing of your concrete. Then if there is delamination or voids behind a concrete surface, what happens? Sometimes below the concrete surface, if this is your concrete, so there are certain air bubble left into the concrete. Due to it may be due to the compaction of concrete, or not proper vibration, or you can say not proper compaction of concrete, the voids are appear below the surface of your concrete. And sometimes we have to find out the thickness of concrete layer, then we are going for the non-destructive test. Or when we knew the penetration of permeability of concrete, then also we are going for the NDT test. Also the corrosion of reinforcement in the concrete due to the attack of water or sulfate or carbonation of concrete, that can be find out from the NDT methods. And also the aggregate reaction, they are also causing the anomalies and defects in the concrete, and that can be find out and through the NDT method, and the measures are to be taken. So generally we are doing the non-destructive testing of your concrete is to find out the anomalies or defects in the concrete on the concrete surface or below the surface of concrete. Sometimes we have to find out the location of the bars in case of reinforced cement concrete for many purposes. So different tests we are carried out for to know the these uh, to fulfill these objectives. So this there may be a rebound hammer test. It is also called as a hardness test, surface hardness test, ultrasonic pulse velocity test, pull-out test, and impact echo test. These tests are as per your syllabus. It is given in your the syllabus. You have to study these tests. And other than these tests, there are uh, rebar locator or cover meter, you can say, to measure the distance of the steel reinforcement, carbonation depth, or measure the moisture released to the reinforcement or not, permeability test to measure the flow of water, radiography test to detect the voids, infrared thermography to detect the voids and delaminations, etc. And the sonic method used, the instrumental hammer to know the voids and other anomalies into the concrete surfaces. So if you see the rebound hammer test, we will see in detail one by one, uh, is nothing but to evaluate the surface hardness of your concrete. So if you come here, this schematic diagram you are seeing here, it is visible to you, I think so. So here you can see this is the concrete surface. Okay, this is the concrete surface, and where this we are hammering the our rebound hammer. Okay, so there this is the plunger. It is hammering to the your concrete surface. These are the springs available inside, and tubular hosting, rider. There is graduated scale over the hammer, and again the spring over the top and the clutch, and this is a release button when we have to lock this lock button, you can say, and uh, so that you can lock the scale and you can take the reading. So this is the schematic diagram of the estimator's remote hammer, and we'll see that this is yeah, you can see here how it works. The plunger is set over the surface, concrete surface. The spring, hammer, indicator, all these things, latch and body you are seeing. Then we press downward. We push towards the test object, this hammer, and then when we push past, the spring is released. You can see here the spring is released, and the hammering is done on the concrete surface, and it rebounds, and from that you will get on the some value on the graduated state scale. Previously the scale is given on the hammer, and graph is also given, and from uh, this on the scale you will get the rebound number, and from the rebound number you will find out the strength of concrete. But nowadays the digital hammer is also available. You can see this is the digital type of hammer. This for one is the manual types of hammer. You can see here the graduated scale in black color you seen, where the rebound number can be you can see. Okay, and Then you can, from the rebound number, uh, in which condition you have tested the concrete. In wet condition, the graph is in red color. If you are tested on the dry concrete surface, and vertically up and vertically downward two directions are there. Based on that, different graphs are there, and also based on the number, rebound number. If your rebound number is 30, you will project. If you are done in the dry state and hammer it vertically up, then you will come to know that your strength is somehow between 15 to 20 meter if your rebound number is 30. So likewise, you can find out the strength of concrete by using this non-destructive test method. First one, that is NDT method, and you can able to find out the compressive strength. It will not give the exact value of the compressive strength, but you can get some idea due to that what is the concrete. If any defects in the concrete, then you will not get the such surface hardness value of the concrete. So that is why the non-destructive testing is to be done. Though non-destructive testing methods are relatively simple to perform, the analysis and interpretation of test results are not so easy. So we cannot easily predict what is inside, what are the defects. But it will give some values, some guidelines to know. The special knowledge is required to analyze the hardened properties of the concrete while you are going for the NDT. And in NDT method of testing, the specimen are not loaded to the failure, and as such the strength estimated cannot be expected to yield absolute value of strength, because we are not crushing or applying the load up to the failure. Then this will not be you the yield or absolute value of the strength. These methods therefore attempt to measure some other properties of concrete from which an estimate of strength, the estimate of durability, and some elastic properties we can find out from these methods. So first we will see about our rebound hammer test, how it is performed, what is the principle. So you can see here, the principle is the rebound of an elastic mass depend on the hardness of the surface against which it makes strikes. तो हमारा यहाँ पर सरफेस क्या है, कंक्रीट है, but there are certain precautions to be taken. The surface should be clean, level, and hard enough. When the plunger of rebound hammer is pressed against the surface of concrete, the spring control mass rebounds, and the extent of such a rebound depends upon the surface hardness of the concrete and the surface hardness, and therefore the rebound is taken to the related to the compressive strength of concrete. So as I said you, the here the graduated scale is there, uh, and from here you can easily find out the rebound number, and from the graph is also given on the instrument, you can get the compressive strength. In case of this digital rebound hammer, you will get directly the strength of concrete. How to perform the procedure, I have told you that prepare the surface, and then your rebound will be vertically downward direction, and apply the light pressure on the pressure, and it will release the lock position, allow it to extend to the ready position for the test. So the lock button is unlocked, or release button is open, you can say. Press the plunger against the surface of the concrete, keeping the instrument perpendicular to the test surface. It is very important. You should keep the instrument perpendicular to the surface. If this is your surface, so your one hammer should be perpendicular to the surface, and you are plunger. Okay, press the button after impact to log the reading on the to know the note the rebound reading in the position. Take the average of about 15 reading. So how many reading you have to take on the one surface? 15 reading, and average of 15 reading will be considered as a that surface strength or hardness, you can say. Then the rebound reading on the indicator scale has been calibrated by manufacturer of the rebound hammer for horizontal impact, that is on vertical surface, to indicate the compressive strength when used in other positions. So these correction factors you can be applied. So you can this sorry, an appropriate correction is given in manufacturers is to be taken into account if there is some manufacturer correction is required. So now this you can this the ProSec rebound hammer is coming like this. A digital display is there. You can see here it is a digital display, and this is the plunger. Okay, and this one is the your what is say is a orlog button. See, this is vertically downward under the slab. The rebound hammer test is performed on the surface to know the surface hardness. Otherwise, this test is carried out. And then another method is the sonic method. By hammering the surface of the concrete, you can know the anomalies or voids in the concrete. You can see it generates the wave, and the wave is collected, and you can come to know the strength or defects in the concrete or cracks in the concrete. Generally, to know the cracks in the concrete, these methods are adopted. Okay. Now the second method is uh, ultrasonic pulse velocity test method. It is mainly to measure the time travel of ultrasonic pulses passing through the concrete and how the concrete quality. So you can see this this ultrasonic pulse velocity test. It is also to know the concrete quality by passing through the ultrasonic pulses. So here you can see it is also the NDT method of testing of concrete. So this apparatus you can see, and first I will read the principle. This method is as per the IS 1311 Part 1 1992. The method consists of measuring the time travel of an ultrasonic pulses passing through the concrete being tested. So time travel of the ultrasonic pulses passing through the concrete is tested. So here in the rebound hammer we are measuring the surface hardness, and then we comparing it with the compressive strength. Here the concrete is the time travel of the ultrasonic pulses is passing through the concrete is being recorded, and through that we can find out the concrete quality based on the velocity of this passing. If it is higher, it's good in terms of density, uniformity, and homogeneity. Okay, so that should be though. If the concrete is good and dense, then it requires less time to pass these waves, ultrasonic waves. So you can see here there are this uh, digital indicator of the velocity of the pulse. Okay, and it is electrically operated or maybe battery operated, and there are two probes are there. You can see the probes are there, or you can see the transducers are there. One is the receiver and another is the uh, transducer. Okay, so one it will emit the waves and another that will collect the wave, and so that we can able to find out the velocity meter, any speed of velocity of the waves, and that can give us the uh, measure for the density of your how dense your concrete is there, and how if there is cracks or any anomalies it will be find out. The preparing for use before switching on the V meter, the transducer should be connected to the sockets. So it should be connected to the socket we have seen in the figure above. So you can see it is connected here to the V meter, velocity meter, and they are transformer and receiver. So this is marked. So you should properly connect the trans and receiver. Otherwise, your reading may be not proper. Though it may be operated by variety or external battery or AC line, depend on the instrument. Set reference. A reference bar is provided to check the instrument zero. So it is provided with the instrument, and the pulse time for the bar is engraved on it. Apply a smear of grease to the transducer faces. You have to apply the grease so that it should be smooth over the surface, and there is no leakage of your or something else. Apply a grease and then transducer faces before pressing it on the opposite ends of the bar. Adjust the set riff, है ना, जब बार पर हम सेटिंग करेंगे रिफरेंस के लिए, तो एडजस्ट द सेट रिफ ऑन द velocity meter and then control until the reference bar transmit time is obtained on the instrument readout. तो जो ट्रांसमिट टाइम आपके बार पर दिया हुआ है, जब तक वो नहीं आता है जब तक हम उसको we will set for the reference. Reference set, then the range selection is there. For maximum accuracy, it is recommended that point 1 microsecond range to be selected for path length of 400 mm. So it depends on the thickness of your member. It may be your concrete wall, it may be your column, it may be your beam or slab, है ना? To test the ultrasonic pulse method as per the thickness, you have to set the value, and it is recommended that range is selected zero point 0.1 microsecond for the path length up to 400 meter. If it is beyond the thickness is 400 meter or depth of column is beyond the 400 meter, then you have to reselect it. The pulse velocity, having determined the most suitable test point of the material to be tested, make careful measurement of path length L, apply coplant to the surface of the transducer and press it hard onto the surface of the material. Do not move the transducer while a reading is to be taken. When you are fixed the transducer, you cannot move it. The mean value of the display reading should be taken when the units digit hunt between the two values. Okay, so pulse velocity is the nothing but path length to the travel time. So you can find out the pulse velocity by using this. Now the result, how the interpretation of result. The quality of concrete in terms of uniformity, incidence or absence of internal flaws, cracks and segregation, etc. indicates of that level of workmanship employed can thus be assessed using the guidelines given below, which have been evolved for the characteristic, the quality of concrete in structure in terms of alternate pulse velocity. So if your velocity kilometer per second is above 4.5, then the concrete quality is excellent. Any velocity is large, any time travel you require is less, है ना? So that's why the velocity is large. Velocity in between the 3.5 to 4.5, then you can say that your quality is good. And if velocity is 3 to 3.5, you can say your quality is medium, and below 3, it is doubtful. Concrete, yani there are some anomalies in the concrete, so that the velocity is less. Okay. So technique of measuring pulse velocity through concrete, there are three types of techniques to find out the pulse velocity of your concrete. We can see here, uh, first is the direct transmission. When we put the probes T and R on the opposite side, exactly opposite face of the your concrete, then this transmission is termed as direct transmission. Okay, and it is possible in case of your calling a column and there is no wall, but mostly the problem is that this cannot be solved. In beam, you can one side you can check, another side over the slab how the length of the wire or probe is less, so that will be problematic. In that case, indirect transmission, the probe you are setting to the perpendicular direction of the faces. You can see in one face you can put the probe here, okay, and then another face perpendicular to that surface you will put the probe, and this method is called as the indirect transmission. But in case if it also not possible, your concrete wall surface is there or slab, bottom of the slab or top of the slab, so you cannot go for this two. Either it is this will one will not possible, this one is also not possible. Then you have to go for the surface transmission. Yani the both probes you have to put on the same face. So this is the uh, transmission, and that is also affect the travel time of your uh, waves, and so that the correction n is applied. So what will the factors will affect the measurement of pulse velocity? That is smoothness of surface under the chest. It is very needed. The contact surface, if it is loose and there is undulations, then it will affect your test result. The smoothness of surface is very important. Otherwise, you have to prepare or smoothen the surface and the clean the whatever dust or other things available on the surface you are testing. Influence path or length of pulse velocity also affect. Path length on the pulse velocity will also affect. Temperature at the time of testing will also affect. 5 to 30 degrees do not affect the pulse velocity, but about 30 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius, 5% reduction in the pulse velocity is observed. So that's why the temperature also affect. Then the condition of the concrete you are testing, if it is moisture condition of concrete, it will also affect, and the presence of reinforcing steel In case of RCC structure, and mostly your structural members are with the reinforcement, so that will also affect the ultrasonic pulse velocity test. And then accuracy of the measurement, it is also very important, and uh, that should be followed. Okay, so we have seen the rebound hammer test, ultrasonic pulse velocity test, and then another type of test is pull out test. The pull out test is carried out before on casting of the concrete. We will put the bar inside the concrete, and then that bar will be pulled out, and the principle is that the strength required to pull out that bar is nothing but the strength of your concrete. So pull out test, you can say this test is based on principle that the force required to pull out cone of steel embedded in the concrete is proportional to the strength of concrete. So you can see the video of the pull-up test if possible. So you can see here, this link is provided. Just you copy the link or click on the link. You can easily see the video how the pull-up test on the concrete is to be performed. Wait a minute, maybe connection slow.
Pull-out resistance test for concrete. A pull-out test measures the force required to pull out the shaped rod whose enlarged end has been cast into that concrete from the
So pull-out test
concrete.
measures the force required to pull out the shape.
The stronger the concrete, the more is the force required to
Sorry,
pull out.
sorry, wait, there is disturbance. So you can see the pull-out test measures the force required to pull out the shaped rod in large and cast into the concrete. On the concrete, you can see here.
And has been cast
Okay,
into that concrete from the
so you can see here the it is casted into the concrete and the head is enlarged. Here you can see my arrow, and then this is the pressure gauge. It will you will see the how much force or pressure is applied, and this is the knob and applying the load or applying the pressure through this.
concrete. The stronger the concrete, the more is the force required to pull
The principle is that the stronger the concrete, it
out.
required more force and that is nothing but the
Using
strength of
established
your concrete.
correlations, the force
And
provides the concrete strength
based
properties.
on the specific correlation between
The rod inserts are
the
done by
compressive
two
strength
methods,
can be find
namely
out
cast in and fixed
from the.
in place.
So there may
In
be
the
two
cast
types.
in method,
If you
the
cast the
inserts are
insert the
placed
rod
within
before
the
the
fresh concrete.
casting of the fresh concrete,
In the
or
fixed in
in fixed
place,
in place,
the inserts are
you will insert
positioned
the.
into a drilled hole with hardened concrete.
So you can drill into the hardened concrete and
The
fix in place,
instrument setup to pull
and
the
the
insert is
instrumentation
shown on the
will
screen. The
the
instrument
instrument
is
can be
placed over
placed
the
on the
inserts and
over
force
that
is applied to
rod,
pull
and
the
then
inserts.
force is applied over this knob, and the
The
pressure is
pull-out
increased.
force is resisted by normal stresses and shear stresses acting
The
on
pull
the
out
insert surface.
force is resisted by the shear stress, normal stresses into the concrete, and then
The force is applied till the initial breakage in the surface
the force is applied till the initial breakage of
is
the surface is
recorded.
occur, and that force is recorded,
The
and
force
that is
is
nothing
noted on
but.
the gauge attached
So this is
to the setup,
noted on the gauge attached with the setup, and it is give the
correlating the
pressure
force with the graph
required
shown on the screen.
for the.
The compressive strength of
Then the force
concrete
is
can be
related
calculated.
with the compressive
Thank you
strength. This
for
graph
watching.
you can find out the
Stay
compressive
tuned.
strength of your uh, concrete. Okay. So likewise you can perform the pull-out test on the your concrete. Then another test is impact echo test. So impact echo test on the concrete, generally we are doing to detect the voids or delamination and other defects in the concrete. So generally, if there is voids in the concrete, then this impact echo test we can carry it out, and by this you can easily find out the voids is there or not into the concrete. So this test video also is available on the internet. You can say or not. I will play it for you. But you also, whenever you get the time when you are sitting for this test, these animation videos will give you more understanding of the test experiments. And each test experiments are given. Uh, you will see this video also for the impact echo testing, how it is performed on the concrete surface. Maybe this is happening to the slower connection, but it will be there. Generally performed to find out the anomalies in the concrete, and because it can be performed on the directly to the structure, and also there is no destruction, so that can be easily performed, know the anomalies in the structures. So you
Impact
can
echo
impact
test
echo
for
test of
concrete.
concrete is the testing method of the innovative type. You can see the
Impact
setup
echo test is used to determine
to
the
determine the
location of
voids and
cracking,
location of
voids
crack,
and delamination.
voids and delamination into the concrete.
It is based on the use of impact-generated
It
stress
can
waves
use
that
to generate the
propagate
impact
through a structure and
or
are
have an
reflected by internal
impact
flows and external
to the
surfaces.
internal flows and external surface.
The entire setup is shown on the screen.
This is the
It
transducers,
consists of a transducer which can receive the stress generated by impact and is connected to a computer to monitor the waveform and spectrum.
so in this method
The
you will
impact
impact is given on the
is
concrete surface,
produced by tapping against
and
a
the
concrete
transducer
surface
will
which
record the
generates
generated and it
low
is transferred
frequency
to the
stress waves of
uh,
1 to
to
60 kilohertz that propagate into the
and
structure
this
and are
waveform is
reflected
then
by flaws
recorded
and external
and the
surfaces.
waveform and the spectrums are
The
recorded on
reflected
the
waves are
computer,
received by the transducer
and that will
which
give us,
converts the mechanical energy into the electrical signal.
so
The
this due
electrical
to
signal
hampering uh, the impact on the concrete surface, the mechanical energy is converted into due to this transducer to the electrical waveform, and that is transferred to the your uh,
is converted into the two
computer,
graphs,
and
namely
then
waveform and
this
spectrum,
graph
which
is
are plotted on the
plotted
screen.
between the time and voltage and then
The
amplitude and
frequency
the
peak in
frequency.
spectrum provides information about the thickness of the structure, its integrity, and the location of
It gives us the integrity also and the frequency, and the peak of this spectrum shows as the thickness of your
flaws.
concrete, and if there is
The
flaws or a
fundamental
defect, that
equation of
also
impact
can,
echo is D is equal to C divided by 2F, where D is the depth from which the stress waves are
it is the depth of which
reflected,
they were
that is the
reflected,
depth of a
and that
flow
is
or
find
the
out
thickness
C
of a
is C by 2F,
solid structure.
2F. D is the
C is
depth of
the
which
wave
waves,
speed
C
which
is
is
the wave
given by the
speed,
device manufacturer.
and it is from the manufacturer you
F
will get
is the
value of C,
dominant frequency
and
of
F is the
the
dominant
signal,
frequency of
that
the
is the
signal,
peak in
that is
frequency
the peak
gap.
in frequency, and the frequency gap you can find
Thus,
out. Thus
determining the D value,
the D value
the
shows
presence of flaws in the concrete structure is
give us the
calculated.
presence of flaws in concrete
The
structure.
impact echo method proves to be a reliable method for locating a variety of defects in
So this method is a reliable method for locating a variety of defects into the concrete. So these are the methods in your syllabus, and some another methods are also uh, beyond your syllabus, and new techniques regularly coming into the market to know the defects and anomalies into the concrete. So some we are discuss here the rebar locator or cover meter to measure the distance of steel reinforcement beneath the surface of the concrete, and the diameter of reinforcement also it can be. Second, we can the carbonation test measurement test to determine the whether the moisture has reached the depth of reinforcing bar, thereby leading the corrosion. So carbonation test or depth measurement test also we can do to know the uh, your voice or uh, moisture reached the depth of your reinforcing bar, that can be done through the carbonation measurement. Then permeability test, it is nothing but to measure the flow of water through the concrete. So that also gives the permeability, because your durability of the structures or denseness of your structure depend on the permeability of your concrete. Then There are another different method, the penetration resistant or Windsor probe test to measure the surface hardness and hence the surface strength or surface near surface layer of concrete can be find out. Then there is also the radiography test. This radiographic test, as we are doing sonography and another test for the our health issues, X-rays. So here radiography test to detect the voids in the concrete and the position of pre-stressing duct. So in case of pre-stressing method, you can find out the position of duct by using this radiographic test. Similarly, infrared thermography can be used to detect the voids, delamination, and other anomalies in concrete, and also to detect the water entry points in the building. So these tests are very useful to know the defects and cracks and any anomalies into the concrete by using these tests. Also there is sonic method. We are using the instrumental hammer like you have seen the impact echo test. This sonic method is in place of that we are using the hammer, and then we will from this we can check the predict the integrity of piles and the bridges decks. So these methods are very important for the to know the structural stability, to know the structural defect into the reinforcement structure, and that's why it's because without destruction we are doing this test. So that's why it is very useful. And if there is anomalies and defects are found into the concrete, so we can apply the measures and we can protect our valuable structures. Sometimes important structures such as hospitals, water tanks, bridges, bridge decks, canals, etc. is monitored through this test. So that can be applied to buildings also, and if there is some defects in the building you observe, then any one suitable method of the NDT can be applied, and can be the defects can be measured or known by certain uh, values or certain ideas. We will get how to predict the defect in the structure. So that will help us to overcome these defects. Okay, so industries sometimes they have to check the regular strength. Bridges you have to check regularly their defects, and you are monitoring railway bridges also, and many such bridges, uh, and uh, dams, hydraulic structures, important hydraulic structure. So we can do that. Now you'll see the last video for you, and you can see all these thing videos are available on the internet. I will not play all this. You can search on your own, uh, uh, find out the video, and you can run the video. So this is the working of this rebar locator. How can you find out the location of bar and the diameter of bar inside the concrete? And it is important because the plumber, electrician, the concrete surface without asking the engineers, and they will the reinforcement, and these reinforcements they
Writing's
will
not that
affect
easy. but Grammarly can help.
Okay, so we will see this in this video lecture how to locate the bars by use of the bar locators. I think so you will understand this lecture and that will helpful for you for further study. So you can see the Prophoiscope is used to find out the location of bar. This is Prosex new rebar detector he is using. You can see it's coming with the cover. It is removing from the cover. Then you have to easy to use. Just put the battery inside, take it, and then you can slide it over the surface of the concrete, and you can find out the rebar. See here, rebar location is find out. Also, this instrument gives the diameter of rebar available under the concrete surface. So it is very useful. Now see, just you have to slide over the instrument and you can easily find out. You can see here. And then you have to mark the position of rebar. Sliding and then you get the bar diameter. So that is the bar setup. This this is also available in different language. You can set as per your requirement, and location of bar you can find out. So we will stop here. So I think so. Today you understand this outcome of our lecture is the non-destructive testing. In that we have seen the rebound hammer test, ultrasonic pulse velocity test, pull out test, and impact echo test. Also we have seen beyond your syllabus other tests and their videos such as cover meter or rebar locator, carbonation depth measurement test, permeability test to measure the flow of water through the concrete, radiography test to know the cracks and position of reinforcement or other defects into the concrete surface, infrared thermography test to detect the anomalies, delaminations, voids and defects into the concrete, and the sonic method is use the instrumental hammer to test the integrity of your pipes and bridge decks. So these different NDT tests are performed on the concrete. So we will stop today here and thank you for